Hey everybody, Nick LeBrun, Lake Pro Guys Pro Staffer here. I just finished up the tour event at Lake Toho, and I finished middle of the pack, and I had a great time, but I caught a lot of fish, and I found some areas that they were really pulling up and the spawning was really happening. I had a three-pronged approach. I was mainly sight fishing. I was using a white V&M J-Bug. I had that paired with a half-ounce elite tungsten weight with a 5/0 Hayabusa FPP straight hook, and I was fishing this on 20-pound fluorocarbon, a 7/6 medium heavy Fitzgerald all-purpose series rod, and a 7-to-1 Fitzgerald Stunner series reel. And you know, sight fishing, whenever I would see one locked on the bed, I would take this and just kind of, you know, get it down there and see if she would stay and fool with it. But I use the white because that's easy for me to see, and I can really tell when that fish sucks it in. So that was my sight fishing setup. And also had a lily pad thing going where the fish would spawn on the pads. You really couldn't see them, but I would take just a lightweight Texas rig V&M chopstick, watermelon red, nothing fancy. And I had that rig with a 5/0 959 by Hayabusa, and again, you know, 7/6 medium heavy Fitzgerald rod, high speed Fitzgerald Stunner series reel. Had this on 17-pound fluorocarbon, and this lightweight Texas rig I would just pitch into the pads or the dense reeds, and I would just kind of bump it on the bottom real nice and slow, like I was sight fishing, even though I really couldn't see the fish and see the beds. So that was kind of my, you know, beg for a bite technique. And then lastly, I was doing some flipping and some punching. With that, I was mainly targeting the thick reeds and the little thick mats of hyacinth and stuff that had blown up into the reeds, and even some matted hydrilla. So with that, I was using a V&M Flat Wild paired with an elite tungsten punch weight, 1.5 ounce tungsten weight. Again, a 5/0 FPP straight hook by Hayabusa, and 65-pound braided line, Fitzgerald Titan rod. This rod is mainly for punching and flipping, Fitzgerald Stunner series reel. And so with the punch setup, that was for kind of searching for those bigger bites. Obviously I didn't get a lot of those, but I feel like if you get bit on this, it's going to be a good one. So in those same areas that we were kind of looking at those spawning fish, if you had a mat there close by, this is something I would definitely pick up. So now I'm going to kind of show you a few areas on the map that I kind of implemented these techniques. Okay, so I'm going to talk about 3 different areas, and 2 are in Lake Toho and 1 will be down in Kissimmee. But you can see we went out of Big Toho Marina every day, and the first area I want to share is going to be right here. This is kind of mid-lake on the east side, and it's just kind of a big peninsula that kind of comes out. A lot of reeds, a lot of Kissimmee grass. And right here, this little area here, you can see my trails and my waypoints. There was just a lot of fish funneling in from the main lake into this little trough. And so that's the coordinates there to the general area. So this kind of incorporated all 3 of my setups in this area. And then we're going to zoom out. We're going to move down the lake a pretty good bit to right here. This is kind of on the lower quarter of the lake and kind of the southwest corner of Toho. And this where I had a lot of sight fishing going on, a lot of beds. These beds are in about 2 foot of water. The water's pretty clear. You do have a big cow pasture here, and cows were actually walking through my area today, kind of muddying it up, so you may have to deal with that, but that's just kind of the coordinates to the general area. And again here, this is mainly a lot of sight fishing And you might could get away with the Cinco a little bit, but it's real shallow. So I would definitely check this area out as the next weeks progress, because there's going to be a lot more fish pulling up here. And so going to our third area, we're going to lock through and go down to Kissimmee. And I found that the water in Kissimmee was a lot dirtier, but you still have a lot of fish that are pulling up. And this is in an area called North Cove, and this is kind of at the mouth of a little trough, kind of a little cut through. And right here I was primarily fishing pads with the Texas rigged chopstick. So right here you can kind of see the coordinates, and the water's pretty stained. You really can't see the beds, but a ton of fish are pulling up into the pads. Well, hey, I hope these little tips and techniques and areas can kind of help you be successful on Lake Toho. And I want to remind you that LakeProGuides.com is going to be constantly updating and expanding the lakes all over the country. So I really advise you to watch them and check them out, and we'll talk to you soon.